so much for clicking on this video and or VOD. Today we're diving back into some more No Rest for the Wicked. The latest update patch, the Crucible update, is now live, and today also happens to be my birthday. Now, I did check the status of the PC that I've ordered, and it is not here yet, so we're still rocking and rolling on the computer, and as long as it continues, or at least I keep from turning it off, I think so far we might be okay until the new machine arrives. Thank you guys so much for on the earlier stream for all the wonderful birthday wishes. Thank you to Flower over there on Twitch chat, dropping in with a happy birthday, and same for Thaddeus, dude. What's happening? Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. I'm having a really good birthday. We kicked off today. I slept into 6 o'clock, which is rare for me to do. I am such a early bird. And then I got to play some No Rest for the Wicked, in which we made progress on the Crucible. I only have a few more things to get to unlock the full set of features. And then I went to with the boys, my sons, to their soccer game, their last soccer game of the season. It was really great to watch. I always enjoy. I'm a big soccer guy. I love soccer and baseball, so it's fun for me to be able to have that time with the boys. And then got back home, had some hamburgers, and then I watched a movie, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And if you guys have not seen that movie, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It was a really good watch. And now I feel nice and rested. I got a big old fresh batch of tea here, and I'm going to see if I can't get all the goodies that I can out of the new Crucible update. Thaddeus says, where did you order from? I ordered from Starforge Systems. And so the only thing that concerns me is there's obviously an i9 14th generation, kind of thing going on. I'm being told by, the community that there is a patch coming to kind of fix the i9 issue. So I'm like, well, if it's coming, it's coming. So I am a little bit nervous about that, but I did get the Starforge system, and we'll see here. I hope it does everything I want it to do, because I haven't been too pleased with Origin, and I'm more than comfortable saying that, because I wasn't pleased with them as soon as I bought the machine. So it is what it is. We will see what happens from here. Got to get them gems. Anything else that I want to buy from this vendor? No. Okay, great. Yeah, anyway, also for those of you who are new, returning, might not necessarily know, or just too afraid to ask, the Discord is the top link in the description, and it is open to everybody who wants to join. It's free to join the Discord. You can jump into voice chat if you want to hang out. We're going to be just grinding it out, talking about whatever you guys feel like talking about, and that's going to be kind of my plan for the day. I don't have any food. I should go get some food. If I should make some or buy some, one way or the other. I might have to do some open world runs as well, because I am running. One of the things that the new Crucible doesn't give you is essentially resources, and that means my gold making ways are going to be far more important. I'm going to buy some of the food stuff that he has. There we go. And then let's go talk to the fire here. See what we can make. 50, 35. I want things that do the most health. 70, that's 80, but I don't have the raw trout. 80 there. That's not bad. The Herdener's stew. 100, baby. Let's go. And focus, and yes. Well, let's do that. Let's grab it. How many can we make? We can make one. Great. This is okay, bro. Got a dip. Have a great stream and a better birthday. Thanks for stopping by, dude. I really appreciate that. What's up, J-Biz? This is happy birthday. Thank you for getting me interested in this game. Just picked it up on Steam. Awesome. Way to take advantage of like the 20% off discount too. It's going till August the 8th, maybe? Something like that. Dude, this game is amazing. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I am absolutely, yeah, this game is great. Let's go. All right, what else can I make? This is also 100 health, so I can make more of these. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, and then I probably need to make some backups. Mushroom and meat curry, 50 health. Yeah, let's go. Max. And then I'm gonna grab, 99 of these bad boys. Let's do it. Mr. Jack Anderson, thank you, sir, with a resub tier 1. Been subscribed for 5 months. Thank you, sir. Let me go ahead and boost up the member goal here. as you guys push it ever higher. Today has been absolutely phenomenal. Brad earlier today dropped a 20 bomb of gifted members. Where is my app? There is my app. There we go. Let me get the member goal up. Thank you for pushing us to 54 on the day. 54. Member goal and boop. Hey, 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 how's it going?
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
How's it going for your birthday?
Whoa, holy crap. Dude, oh my gosh. Okay, so Mr. Jack Anderson with the tier sub for 5 months just dropped 50 community gifted subs over on Twitch. Oh my goodness, dude. Well, let's do some math. Let's do some math. That would take us to 104, which pushes us to past 75, past 100. And that means I owe you guys 10 gifted members here over on the YouTube. Hey, whoa, Ripley, thank you so much for the 100 bits, man. Happy birthday. Thank you. All right, let me gift out those. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Nope, I got to pop out chat because YouTube is strange.
You think about just moving over to Twitch permanently at this point?
Not at all. Like I like multi-streaming because the reality is that I stream so infrequently that it doesn't, like, it's just to grow or to be a Twitch guy, you gotta be able to be consistent and you gotta set a schedule. And that doesn't mean you have to stream 7 days a week, but it just means consistent and scheduled. So people are like, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I bet Brian is live. Turns out, yes, that's true, right? That's the game. And that's something that a parent, like, you just don't have that as a freedom or responsibility. Julie could call me at any minute and the stream's over because I got to go do husbandly things. Now, I don't think that's going to happen as long as, you know, the kids don't get hurt or something like that. But yeah, that's just the nature of it. So I like multi-streaming because that gives the ability for people to watch however they want to watch, where they want to watch. And then I'm just putting out the content, you know, it's like, I'm just going to put it out there. All right.
Gonna be honest.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like people would rather watch you multi-stream than watch Hassan Piker eat.
I would rather, sorry, what?
I think they would rather you go do parental things than watching Hassan Piker eat.
Oh, I'm with you 100%, dude. Like, Hassan and Destiny are two people that I'm like, I will give zero attention. I will not, like, it's like the best thing we could do is turn our backs to them and starve them for the attention that they.
I don't know why it's always Destiny. I don't know why it's always Destiny.
And you saw what? It's just like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's headache inducing. Oh man. All right, let's see here. Hey, what's up, Bale? I butchered your name. I apologize. Barudo. Oh man. And then yeah. Okay, cool. Let me get those gifted members out. That's what I was doing, and I owe you guys 10 because we hit 2 goals because of Mr. Jack Anderson over there on the Twitch, dropping out 10 for you guys. Thank you so much for that support. We'll let that roll through. Bada bing, bada boom. Sweet. All right, let's keep it going.
Used to be Olympics.
No, but I've seen things that were going on the Olympics, and I was like, yeah, that's just crazy.
I was like, that's weird. I was like, that's weird.
It was just like what? Why? I'm not surprised. Like, there's nothing.
It's Paris. It's France. They're doing French things.
They're doing French things. All right, I have enough food, but I do not have any money. Let's go ahead and run some Crucible, and then we might have to go do some open world runs to get some stuff going. I'm gonna go deposit my stuff into storage though.
I saw their rendition of like a song for liberty. It was literally Marie Antoinette with a decapitated head, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah. Oh man, the French. What can you do?
I mean, they've fallen off since Les Mis. Let's put it that way.
Dude, Les Mis is such a great musical and story. I love Les Mis. I'm a big musical guy. I like musicals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna go see You gonna go see Joker too?
The Joker movie? I don't know if I'm gonna go to. I don't know if that's a theater thing for me. I think I am gonna go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Have you not seen it yet?
No, I haven't yet. When it comes to getting out to the theater and trying to get a sitter and doing all these different things, like Julie for my birthday dinner tonight is sending me out with the guys, so I'm gonna go out with my friends as a kind of a guys' night out to dinner. And because it's like, okay, can we get a sitter? And then my parents are out of town, and it's like, so there's all these little things, and it's like, oh, when can we go see the movie? Oh, Monday. So it's like, so we've got it lined up. So Monday, Julie's gonna take me to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
I saw it today.
Oh man, thanks. I'm glad you like my videos, man. I really appreciate that. That is honestly like, it is a fun hobby that people seem to enjoy that of what I make. I am almost ready to get back into cartooning. I don't know, Vol, did you see the comic that I drew or put up this week? I semi-drew it. I had to use AI to assist.
No, I haven't.
Because I don't have a, so my thought is like, I'm going to get the like a Wacom. I'm thinking they have like a $50, $60 one that I was just going to get just so I can start kind of sketching on the computer again.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I haven't used Procreate since my 3D graphics and animation at university, where it was just basically Procreate, 3ds Max, Maya, Blender, that type of stuff. Well, put it this way, university kind of just ruined a lot of my hobbies. There's nothing worse than coding on a deadline,
It does. Let me just link you the tweet, because it's like, it was interesting, because obviously it's controversial, which is just kind of a part of for the course. Copy the link, and let me just DM you this.
Let's see it.
And so yeah, so I used AI in part of it, and then I was like worked with most of
it. Oh wait,
Photoshop.
Yes, I did see this.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. But it really did ignite, because that's what the whole reason I got kind of into content creation was like, I was like, oh man, thank you very much, Chris. I'm having a really good birthday.
I didn't realize this was you who drew this.
Well, it was me and AI. Like, I'm not gonna say I did not hand sketch all of that. I did a lot of fixing up. I did a lot of, because I was like, all right, let me get some other sheep in here. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Yeah, the GAN networks really aren't as good as people think they are right now.
Yeah. All right.
You need to do a lot of work just to get what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I basically just then took it into Photoshop, and then I was using my mouse to do different things on it, and I was like, man, I really love this. Like, I really miss doing all this. And
yeah.
So that's what I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to jump in, and so I'm probably gonna order one.
You're the type of person who has too much to do and not enough time. Like you just need like a time chamber where you can just
like in Dragon Ball Z, where I can just kind of go into this thing and come back out, and it's been like, I got it all done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think art, and in a way, like all of this stuff is there's a beauty that is in the limitations, right? It's like having, I think, unlimited funds and unlimited time can actually make a worse product.
It's why a lot of older video games are better, just flat down better than a lot of the newer ones. They just have more constraints, worse technology, worse timelines, worse budgets. It's like they seem to make higher quality products.
Stop by. Berdro says, hopefully I'm not butchering your name, and if I am, just please, you can feel free to phonetically correct me. I'll do my best. Says, I just love No Rest for the Wicked, and it's been long, and I've played this game for the sound, the graphics, the atmosphere, everything. 10 out of 10. You're 1,000% right, dude. This is a 10 out of 10 game. And
I'm saving up for it.
I just love it, dude. And I'm like, and it's got a future that I'm all in on, dude.
Yeah, congrats on the sponsor. Like,
dude, it was like absolutely. I still have to. So we did this stream, and I've been working on a video. Oh, I'm gonna die. And I'm working on a video for him as well. So I was like, cool. Happy to do it, man. I was like, I was doing it anyway.
How has the stream been? Not the stream, the YouTube channel been since you start covering it?
I'm sorry. What do you say?
How's the YouTube channel trends gone for you since you started to cover it?
It's been going good. Like, honestly, I think people like the message of hope. Like, at least that's from what I read from the comments. I do get somebody's like, I'm out. I can't believe you. How dare you? Stick to games, bro. And I'm like, do I even want somebody like that in my, I'm like, they'll come back if they need me, And I'm like, nobody's forced to watch my stuff.
Yeah. I remember the Baldur's Gate 3 early access because I was subscribed to that for like the longest time. When it first came out, I bought it, and it was like there was so much of this is just what do you call it? Oh,
That is
Divinity
Spanish
3. No, they just called it, this is Divinity 3. All over the time because
Whoa!
they were using it the same engine.
Chris, dude, welcome to Prime. That pushes us up. Thank you so much for that. Guys, if you can, no worries now. If you can't, Sir will drop at a 20 spot. We'll talk about that in a second. If everybody who doesn't give, we have such a generous community. Literally, just had somebody drop an insane amount of subs over on Twitch. Thank you, Mr. Jack Anderson. You a legend. But also, yeah, if you guys are able to be a member, that does then have YouTube kind of push the membership over to somebody else. So we've been doing lots of member exclusive content this year. So Chris, hope you enjoy it. If you're not in the Discord, jump in the Discord, link up your YouTube and your Discord so that way you can get those additional perks and so much more. And Alex will, we'll just call you the Mexican here. Says, happy birthday, man. Did you get the new PC? It has not arrived yet. I checked it. It does not look like it's shipped. They said anywhere from today to August the 1st is the delivery time frame. And then Mike with the 20 bomb says, happy birthday, Brian, brother. Did Julie give you your birthday spankings yet? No. She did give me a massage, though, which was really lovely. I forgot how many will you be getting this year. Also, on a side note, game sounds are louder than you are. Good to know. Let me lower down. Let me know if that's any better. I had some, when I got in here, the kids were playing with my setup, so it was highly possible that they have messed with the everything. I'm going to drop it down to, we'll do 24%, 25%. Hopefully that's better. Anyway, yes, I owe on the member side of things. Let's go ahead and bump that up to 105. Thank you guys. For every 25, I gift out 5 here on the channel. So thank y'all. Thank you. All right.
Gonna be honest, I think Cyberpunk was worse with the raunchy stuff than Baldur's Gate 3 was.
I was expecting both to be that. Like, it's a rated M. Like, that's where I kind of go. I'm like, yeah, if it's not a game made for kids, I'm not worried about what people choose to do.
Baldur's Gate 3 was a lot tamer than the media represented it.
Yeah.
Witcher and Cyberpunk were worse.
Oh yeah.
Like, much worse. I think everybody just went crazy because of the bear scene.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, so one question. When are you playing Elden Ring again? Come on.
Dude, I want to. I also, like, if I had, like, again, if I had unlimited time, I would, I'd play some today, you know? It's like, let's go. I'm just really enjoying this, like, you know, so it's like, as I always gotta say, it's like, especially as a content creator, like, the thing I put as a priority is I play the thing I want to play, not the thing that's going to get the most views. Because as soon as I start prioritizing views over my enjoyment, I just think that's a recipe for bitterness, you know? That's just a recipe where it's like, all right.
Alicia, did you see Kai Sena play at all?
Who?
Kai Sena, he's a African-American Twitch streamer.
Oh, is he that guy who has like the most subs record or something?
No idea, but it was like something like...
where it's like, I think we're talking about the same guy. He like broke the Twitch record or something that, you know, was set by Ludwig. And...
He broke a ton of controllers. I was like, Jesus Christ.
The one who was like, they kept seeing like he beat this boss after so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
same guy.
It was like the Crucible night. The minute he starts off, he just tries and attacks, and it's like 300 plus deaths on this, and I'm like, oh my god. At least he's committed.
Well, he beat it, right? Like, so
he beat it.
He wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna fool around with it. Thanks, Trash. I appreciate you, dude. Hopefully your name is Trash and not Thrash. Probably Thrash. I'm so sorry. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's Trashed or not.
Okay, cool. Thrash. Thrashed or not. Thrash. Okay, thank you.
No, to be fair, I have dyslexia as well.
In the world, what would it be? To be able to not sound like a complete, like, you know, jerk and or idiot.
I hear.
I took off Blink because I wanted more damage. Oh, come on, bollocks. Let you come on down. I'm just gonna pick at you.
No, my parents had to put me through like extra lessons to to reduce like the impact of dyslexia on me.
Yeah. Dude, it's I don't know. I think there's a part of it as a blessing. It does keep me humble, you know, because I'm like, oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, I did completely whiff. Did whiff on that one.
It still gets me though sometimes. Like sometimes I'm just reading and then I'll skip an entire line and I'm like, what the hell?
You getting the seeds, it's not counting. I hope they get that bug fixed. Yep, another one. No point.
It's such a pretty game.
It's beautiful. I like the isometric aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like it does open up a whole different, you know. It does. It have that. Oh no! Oh crap! Move. Like a whole other kind of play style that you can, or strategy. All right, finally got one.
Enemies are quite fast as well.
Can be, yeah. Some can be kind of slow.
I feel like a lot of these are like faster than Diablo enemies, though. That's the thing.
I like how they're not as squishy as Diablo enemies. That's one of the things. It's like
Yeah.
Diablo's about like big damage, big numbers, you know, killing lots of enemies, and this is like you know, sometimes a little bit strategic. Who knows? Maybe I'll come up with a crazy AOE build that, you know.
Mm.
I haven't even turned on any buffs yet this run. Yeah, let's try that one.
Oh wow! Wait, so is this Crucible then? Is it a roguelike experience?
Yes, it's a full-on roguelike. Increased by damage dealt. No, I don't want. Focus gain increased. Yes. Damage increased. Attack deal damage. Okay. Alright, I was like, how far am I in? 4 chambers, hadn't even put a. Now I got fire arrows, baby. What's up, Murder? How you doing? Is it me or the new NPC? The satchel give Ori vibes. So that's one of the things that, like, just off of the enjoyment I'm having on this game, I think I definitely want to go check out Ori. I never ended up playing either one. Always want to break stuff. Alright, here we go. Offerings. How many more do I need? Alright. 4 more after this. Let's go. Cool. And I'll have every unlock, and then I can just focus in on exalting my gear, which is fun. I probably have it already if I actually was rewarded the seeds that I earned. I love that 5% proc chance of getting that kill. I did get a legendary thing last time where it was like a 10% lifesteal. That was so good. It was such a beautiful thing.
Is that multiplicative at all with other stuff?
I think so. I think it just adds an additional 10%.
Yeah, because if it's multiplicative, then you can just have a cascading effect with other buffs that just make you unkillable.
Exactly.
How many of the same buff can you stack up? Does it allow you to stack additional buffs? Of like the same type and just strengthen it?
Yeah, so it's like for the echoes, if you're looking at the stream, it's like you just keep adding them, and they let you have all these, you know, all these different ones. Let's see here. Stamina increased. Enemies explode on death. Okay. Healing effects already bad. Decreased, but movement. No, I don't want movement speed decreased. Oh baby, movement speed and attack speed increased by 30% for the first 20% of the chamber. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, it doesn't help me in the long run. I see here 2% non-boss enemy. I'll go ahead and take that. So that I think stacks with the 5%. So that gives me kind of like 7%, but 7% for non-boss enemies. It's weird that I get a 5% overall, and then there's just a straight up 2. And it is so satisfying when it procs, by the way.
Is it the same like in every other like almost Souls-like game where vitality is basically your go-to?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Is it the same like in almost every other like Souls-like where the HP stat, your vitality stat, is basically your go-to stat to level up?
Maybe. I on this build I don't have a lot of HP.
How does it feel on controller? Is it quite fluid?
I wouldn't play this on keyboard and mouse. But that's just me. I wouldn't play any game on keyboard and mouse if given the choice. Thank you, Editor Jack. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll get a video up to you. Because we have to, as any sponsor video that you want to watch beforehand.
I'm surprised you're even doing a stream today.
Oh yeah, dude, I love playing games. If it was nighttime, no. Like I don't want to stream tonight. Like I like streaming during the day when I have energy.
That's a lot more gory than I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah. They added in this like whole explosion kind of mechanic.
Yeah.
Baby. You love to see it. You love to see it. Alright. Okay. Healing effects increased by 40, yes. Damage double, but maximum health, no, I don't want that. Weight of all equipment decreased, yes! Yes! Movement speed and attack speed increased. I'm gonna take that. Oh, I don't have enough. Alright. See how I do this jab. That's the thing about, like, I'm fine with having a heavier equipment load because you get the option to get that massive reduction in weight.
The art style is just really good.
And the world and it's what's really neat is that the worlds aren't random, but they can put random stuff in it. So like the levels kind of have like sense of traversal and a puzzle solving element to it. In a way, it does kind of have that, because you're going back to the same areas doing everything. Like there's a Metrovania kind of light to that.
There's a Metrovania light aspect to almost every Souls game at this point, like Souls-like game. Yeah. You're going back to different areas, there's just an interconnectedness to it that feels very early, almost 2000.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people really enjoy, because it's got a bit of that, how would I put it, clunkiness to it. That gives it quite a bit of character. But it feels like a video game,
Yeah. I think that's an important aspect. Does it feel like you're playing a video game? Yes or no?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of modern games feel almost like customer relationship management tools, where a lot of the friction's been taken out for productivity purposes.
Yeah.
Whereas, you can't, you hear it when a developer goes, we want someone to come from lunch and then play it for their half an hour. And it's like, oh, okay, this is not the game for me. Have you ran into a lot of reused enemies yet in terms of like bosses?
Come on. Get up! No! Woo! Turn around. Come on. Fire. Oh, come on. Get up. Oh no! Arg! Oh. Woo! Oh goodness gracious. I'm gonna get that night. Oh goodness gracious.
Did pretty well.
What's up, Jen? How y'all doing? Let's see here. That was good. That was a good fight. Obviously you can see here like playing the range game with this build is great, except for when you get caught. It's like still a little bit on the squishy side. Let's keep going.
How are the mages?
I have my mage is level 13, so I need to level them up. But it'll be interesting because like you're not level capped. You can go in earlier, so I'm wondering if I could. You don't get experience though, so it's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be like, yeah, let me do that, you know.
Is the experience gain like in almost every other Souls game where it's basically the experience is almost a form of currency?
No, you get straight. It's just
It's
RPG,
just straight normal experience. Okay.
RPG, yeah, XP. Ranged attack. Ranged attacks are for me and people with bows.
The game's really responsive as well, even in, you know, you're definitely right.
They triple team me. What's up, Nanny? How you doing?
I mean, you're definitely right. There is a difference between early access and polished early access.
Well, and on the podcast, Chris brought it up. It's like, we had terms for all this stuff, right? Alpha and beta.
Yeah.
And it's like, somebody came in and was like, we're going to really mess with these terms. Like, why?
Beta is more like a, you know, marketing.
It's a marketing thing. No, it's not like, outside of like the team behind the first Descendant actually did betas. So I was like, oh, they're actually doing a beta. Like, I think that's why the game's out and people are like, some people like it, some people don't. But that's always gonna be the case.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it feels polished.
It's really risky doing a beta. Because especially a public one, because everybody's just going to say, well, this is the game, and it's like, no, not really. You know, unless you have like that PTR label next to it.
Always have people that oh yeah, take a nap, dude.
You see that problem with Ashes a lot, where it's like you're oversharing. And they've stopped doing that quite a bit, but it's like even with what you're sharing, there's like genuine concerns. Is this even going to work?
Hey, what's up, Code? How you doing, my friend? Thank you for the birthday wishes. Berder says, one thing I also love about this game is the cinematics, from the face expressions to the movement and the voice acting. Yeah. It feels like, I don't know. I think we're going to be in for a wonderful, fun journey with the No Rest, development. Dual Echo, gain 2 random echo.
How does the art style with humans affect the actual? Is there cutscenes with them in terms of,
how they move? Yeah, they're like, there's a story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
No, I get there's a story, but it's like I wasn't just sure how heavy how heavy it was in terms of cinematics.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, like, I wouldn't say like it's overly reliant heavy. So like, I feel like it's way more gameplay focused, but like there are story beats that it's like, yep, here's a cutscene.
Yeah.
I like how traps in the environment also play an impact on the enemies as well. So it's not like they're immune to it. They can also hurt each other, which is great, because then it's like, yeah, I'll let this guy finish this guy off for me. Because he doesn't care.
How are players reacting to traps? Because a lot of them really hated it in Diablo 4.
I don't know. I haven't seen like the normal complaints that I see about the game right now are just like, oh, they wish this update had more story missions and whatnot. And I get that. Like, that's what you're playing for the game. So if you're like, I really am just gonna play the game, I want the story and etc. Like, yeah, like wait till release. You're gonna get a full experience at that point, as opposed to like, I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out now. I've gotten a lot of inspiration. Like, there's a lot of things this game is doing that the game that I'm making plans to do. With a couple of different exceptions, like their gearing system with the common, rare, cursed, and legendary. I think I'm gonna have my own spin on that in my game, because I was like, that is so genius. Because rarity just isn't something that you're after, right? Because it's not like, oh, this color means that it's better. It's like, no, it just, every tier of rarity has, like, there could be a pro and a con, or...
Yeah, so it's just cursed mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. And then it also makes, like, normal gear like valuable. You know, so it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like oh, you got a gray, like, oh, that's just garbage. No, not really.
So instead
But
of
that
like
is one thing
everything,
that I feel is missing from the game: the ability to mark as junk and the ability to lock items. I'm like so scared every time I go to a vendor. I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't.
So
mess up.
basically, instead of an objective best, everything's a trade-off in a sense.
Yeah. Right, especially with curse gear, because curse gear will be like, yeah, I've got all these really cool perks, but I also have this negative perk, and am I okay with that negative perk? And you see that also here in the echoes. So they like, it translates really well into the whole echo system. So it's like, all right, here's a rare, which is like definitely better, but obviously costs a little bit more. And then, you know, it's like, okay, I'll grab this. Oh, 2 random echoes. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll take that. And then it's like you get a cursed one, and then it has you make a decision. Like, do I want to play with that? It gives me so much, but it does take a lot. It takes a lot.
Is there any way you can offset the curse gear?
Yeah. Through other, like, some curse gear, like, I'm like, I'll take the disadvantage, because literally it's like XP on loss, on death. It's like, oh, I'm at level cap. There's no disadvantage.
Yeah. Oh, I've just gotten to the rune farm.
Woohoo! This should complete. Yes! I have now completed all of their projects. So I can do repair. Oh, and I don't have money to repair. That's definitely something we gotta work on. But that's good. So now I can focus in on. So all the offerings are complete. That's what I really was wanting to knock out. I can buy stuff from them, but I have no money to do so. Can I sell stuff from them? No, you cannot buy. I can now get into the exalting of the items. So if I look at this, what would that do? Rune attacks, that pushes it to 30 with new.
That is a freaky character design.
I know. Excuse me.
Can you attack it?
I don't think so. Well, who knows?
Have you tried?
No, I haven't. Healing effects, man. See, it just makes everything a little bit better.
Dude, it's a Souls game.
You only try
40k rules.
I cannot attack.
If it doesn't look human, kill it. Yeah, to be fair, that rule set almost really ruined the Bloodborne run for me.
I hear the Echo Knight is weak to lightning, so I guess maybe that's something they're adding.
Thank God. So they have resistances.
Oh yeah. Well, you do as well. So there's plague resistance.
Yeah. Hallmark of a good game.
That's the thing I loved about like Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy 11 and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, elements like you would cast Cure on Undead and it would heal. And this is actually in 1.0. Like 1.0 had all that. And then in 2.0 it's like, no, like elements, everything might as well just be unaspected. There really isn't an elemental.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
It removes character. You're just necessarily removing character. People are like, oh, but it's complicated, it's unfair. It's like, who cares?
Yeah. Well,
it's like weapon skill.
Like, that's where you see with WoW and with Final Fantasy 14, bring the player, not the class.
I hate it so
like,
much.
Oh man, well that I think makes why certain fights just are like it becomes memorization. Now I haven't played any of the new expansion stuff. People were saying it's much more challenging, which was like great. exactly what we want.
I watched an artist review today. He said it's not that challenging above the original
I think it's just a matter
difficulty.
of seeing something for the first time, and so it's like new
Yeah.
mechanics. But who
He
knows?
says he says the first up until the first trial it's basically what you've got at the end of Endwalker.
Yeah.
And then it's like you just need to pay a bit more attention. But it's nothing, nothing amazing. I just think when you get to bring the player, not the class, it just becomes a dance. It's like the fights aren't built around specific mechanics. There's nothing really unique.
You don't, and then you also lose like unique, interesting, classes. It's like, well, every class needs to be able to clear the content. It's like, well, that it should be because of in my mind, because of matchmaking. Because it's like, okay, well, you don't want to get matched in with a class that or a job that cannot do the
I think certain classes should just be better at certain things. Like I wish a lot more was in the open world, and therefore a lot of classes were better in the open world. Whereas, but still, it's like just you go play another character, go play and create alts, create other jobs. You can play multiple things to, have this toolkit to do this, to solve this challenge, especially if it's account bound. But it's weird, like, so much of the issues with MMOs today can just be solved by go get a guild and be an adult. It's like, manage your time well. Yeah, it's the Alana Pierce situational disability conversation.
Oh, it's always a fun thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's the bane of MMOs.
Well, yeah. So
popping in real fast because I gotta leave out the doors. But happy. I just said it in chat. I'll say it again. Happy birthday again, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
Enjoy your hunting
my
games.
Sound? Do you have the sounding board?
I'm working on it. Give me a moment.
Right,
Give me a moment.
I was just, I always.
Happy hunting and games. Tell Julie you need your birthday spankings, and make sure the.
Hey, I hate that one.
Doesn't come up because John Cena.
And his name is John Cena.
Is coming around.
I love it. Thank you, sir.
I'll catch you later. Off to work.
Love you, dude. Have a good day at work.
You too. No, I don't want to say you too because you gotta work. Because you gotta work here soon too.
No, I'm not working today. Which is nice.
Lucky.
Well, I mean, I've been working like every weekend for the year. So I was like, yeah, my birthday weekend, I'm taking off, guys.
Catch you later.
See you, dude.
What the hell is a birthday spanking?
It's sometimes it's, I don't know who started it, or maybe it's a southern thing, but it's that you would get a number of spankings for your birthday. He's meaning it more in kind of a a sexual adult thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
It's like, I just got painful. I just had like an innocent 5-year-old moment there.
What is a spanking? It's a tool used in different ways.
It's good to know I've still got some innocence left.
That's I always maintain a good. That's why it's like I think the phrase most apt in today's society is guard your thoughts because they lead to your actions. Guard your actions because they lead to your character.
Oh yeah.
All right. If only more people would abide by that. Choosing to be like, oh, I had a bad thought, therefore I must do this.
The amount of brain rot on the internet is insane.
Yeah, the Olympics thing was it's interesting to see. I wonder if
That was I was more concerned about the Pale Rider at Midnight reference than the Last Supper reference.
the Pale Rider, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit too on the nose for people. Like, my parents aren't religious yet, even they thought that was inappropriate.
That's what I'm seeing mostly online, and it's like, and the thing is like I sent out and I was like, I'm not offended. Like, this is more vindicated than anything else. Like, this is what we all know. I think Christianity as because I also think about cultural Christianity, but Christianity is best. It shines brightest when it's like when you're gonna contrast it with something
It
like
also
that.
means nobody wants to be Christian when it happens, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
That's why I also like, you know, Elon Musk talking about how he's a cultural Christian, and it's like that works kind of like herd immunity, where it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, okay, most people are Christian, but like cultural Christianity is not sustainable in and of itself.
it's sustainable as long as there's a connection to the roots, but the minute the roots dug up and chucked in the bin, it rots. You know,
and that's the thing. It's like, if all of a sudden everybody's like, well, we're just culturally Christian.
No, you always need some people to actually be Christians. You can't have like everybody be culturally Christian.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like a herd immunity. Like you gotta get the.
I mean, it's like, okay, for my country, it's had a challenging, you know, how would I put it, relationship with religion.
Yeah.
It's not been always positive.
It's not that
but
it's still like religion in and of itself is a
but I'm gonna be honest,
flawed and fallen people trying to understand the divine.
But it's not even that. It's like it's more religion interfering with politics rather than, or politics interfering with religion, if that makes sense, rather than anything else. And it's like, for me, like religion reflects the soul of a culture. It tells you, you know, about the place, what their values are, what their unified narrative is, what the people sing to each other, what they have, you know, what they practice around the dinner table, that type of thing. It's a really good indicator of the character of the people.
I think one other indicator though would be like the success of a people's minority. You know, it's like if you've got a successful minority that is against you, that's a sign of good health.
I'd also say define persecution, because the amount of people I see is like it's like you're not persecuted. You're just treated like everybody else.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
You're not a protected class. Like, go away. It's... Like, I know a lot of what you call it Jehovah's Witnesses, because we have a few around here, and it's like any time the government who just tells them to stop doing what they're doing because they're annoying people, they'll cry oppression. You know, it's stupid things. It's like, you know, knocking on people's doors really early in the morning when they're in their beds and they don't want to get up. But to be fair, we have more issues with climate activists right now here. Like, some of them recently died Stonehenge, and nobody was happy about it. And I think a few of them also destroyed a few Van Gogh paintings. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I was more worried about
Stonehenge. Come on.
You know, a painting can be, you know, always seen, but the minute Stonehenge is gone, it's gone. No, when it ended up, it's like half of the Great Wall of China is rotting away slowly, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, can you please just upkeep it? It's almost like, you know how like people climb the pyramids?
Yeah.
Or like take bits of the pyramids and you're like, can you please just not?
Can you please not? Oh, come on, get out of that.
A lot of these things, you know, they are unique to just one unique culture, but they also are almost like a shared humanitarian legacy, if it makes sense. You know, it's like when everybody saw Notre Dame burn down, everybody was really concerned, and I was really happy about that, because it is a piece of art. You know? Yeah.
People built it.
Yeah.
Before we had cranes, like, it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
what, like, you know, my dad's always says, like, one of the things that the Bible verse, like, rocks will cry out, is like, are what the church is on. That's what, come on,
Well,
Brian. Oh, gosh.
I don't think a lot of people realize this, especially in America, is that these churches took 3 generations to build. You know, you're talking 60 to 120 years of, you know, grandfather to father to son. And it's like, and they will never, you know, be in that church. They're doing that for their great grandkids.
Yeah, I think it was Gandhi, Eth, that said, like, was it, like, he'd be Christian if he ever met one. Yeah, Christians are sometimes the worst offenders out of all of it.
It's, I mean, it's weird, right? Because I ended up going to Cologne in Germany.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not Christian, but I was like, if nobody's ever been there, this is a cathedral which has survived bombings, fires, wars. Like, you know, the burn marks from the bombs are still on the cathedral.
Yeah.
And it survived it all. And you go in, and it's literally like something out of Lord of the Rings. And you're just like, and you are all like shocked and awed. Like, I've got a cathedral in my own hometown, and the Cologne Cathedral is like 4 of them, and just in terms of size.
Yeah.
And it's got a tower, and I only made it up halfway before I was wanting to pass out because it's tall. But it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
The people of Germany should be very proud.
Yeah.
Like, they should be very proud. But it's you know, it's just beautiful to look at, like the amount of care and love that's been carved into that stone. It's just it's just beautiful. They've also got, like, if you go in it, and there's like areas of like Cologne where it's like, you know, the streets, the Roman streets that are, you know, several feet below the actual road, and they've excavated it out and things like that, and it's insane.
How bad he's out here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about, because I grew up in a Christian community, and I even when viewing it from like America, like how a lot of Americans practice it, it's a bit much. Like,
Yeah, I think, well, like, cause then, there's so many flavors. Like,
no, it's not even America.
Against,
It's not even America, right? It's like the Commonwealth, like outside of Europe. And it's like I knew a few, New Zealand people in Singapore, right? And they went to, you know, one of these churches which is very sing-songy. Is that, if that's how you?
Would be, I think, if you were,
you know, stand up and, you know, praise be the Lord.
Dance.
Yeah, and it's like it's someone
we
who's
would call
like,
that charismatic. So it's like,
yeah, if someone who's been Presbyterian, you literally stand up, you have your boots, you sit down, you're quiet, then you know, you say your prayers, you go out, you have your tea and, you know, stuff with your neighbours, and then you all go home. And then your kids do after school activities and stuff like that with one another. That's the end of it. You know, you never raise that again. However, this was like blues, and I was like, what the hell is this? It was a very big culture shock, let's put it that way.
Look, there's within the Catholic Church, they have like charismatic.
Oh yeah, it's like very.
Like that. It's like, again, like my whole view is just like there's different ways of worship. That, you know,
Oh yeah,
there's different ways to pray. You have all kinds of different ways to pray.
It was
like,
just,
yeah.
it was just, I was just like, I think, like, they wanted you to get up on stage and stuff, and I was just sat there going, what the hell am
Were
I
they
doing?
bringing you up for the altar call?
No, it was just like, it was weird. It was just like, we also went on holiday with them to America and Orlando, and we went to this blues place in like Disney Springs.
Yeah.
and they were like, and this is the thing, I don't think you know this about British people, but we just don't dance and we just don't sing. So when they got us all up on stage, I was like, oh no, what are we doing here? Yeah, no, charismatic is probably a very good term for it. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. But it was an experience I'll never forget.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite is when I get to go to like a Black Baptist church.
Mm.
It is, I love it. It's some of the best, like best music. I would say like the best preaching. I always feel real, real inspired.
Weird, right? I haven't been in. I refuse to sign up for a new church just because my church is in my hometown, and I've literally cleaned that thing. Like polished the rails and stuff, and I'm just like, nope. I'm not even religious anymore, and I'd still, if they asked me for my help, I'd go and, chip out, because, I've literally spent half my life making sure that thing is clean.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. It's like, I went to school with that type of Christian, and I was told that I was going to hell. All kinds of stuff. And I was like, the good news for me though was like I used that to dive more into like what does the church teach and how how do I make a defense of it, because like constantly being what I would articulate as persecuted for my faith, and even even the time when I was an atheist, just like, all right, like why but they did give me a lot of ability to understand and how to not how to read scripture, but where to find things in scripture and memorize scripture.
Yeah.
And so that ends up becoming where it's like the funniest thing is to me is when I see Protestants absolutely preach blasphemy that is not scriptural, and then they'll say that Catholics are anti-scriptural. Like, oh man.
I have been raised in the Protestant Catholic dichotomy thing my entire life at this point. I just don't care anymore. I think that's probably because my gran was Catholic and she got treated utterly horrendously by Catholics when she married my grandfather.
Yeah. Got ostracized.
Yeah, and it was like that was way back. That was like after World War II, and she was an Irish Catholic, and they did not. But it's just like, I don't care. I'm done. Like, and it continued in Scotland with like football and things like this, and sports, and I'm just like, my parents kept me away from that as much as possible. Yeah. And it's like you still see snippets of it today, and it's just like it's kind of chilled out quite a bit, but it's still there in like certain neighborhoods, and you're just like, can you please just not just get along at this point?
Way more in common than we do apart.
It's just tedious. It's just like
that's humanity, right? Like,
yeah.
How do we as humans screw this thing up? Because it's we're obviously focusing on the religious conversation, but it's that within like outside of religion, like it's like, oh yeah, like I'm not really like, yeah, we've seen secular devastation and like cruelty as well, but it's the hypocrisy that essentially I think is why it becomes a bigger
deal. It's like
it's like, hey, we're trying to like, hey, we want to treat everybody like Christ treated, and da 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 da, and then it's like, and then immediately turn around and like be un-Christ-like, and it's like, wait, you were just
like those New Zealand people I was talking about, right? Most Christian people I've ever met, more Christian than you, Brian, right? Get them in a car and watch them road rage the hell out. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
I don't have road rage.
No, but they are like, I was like, holy shit. But it's like, yeah, no, I just get, it's all tedious, like, because it starts to almost get down to like societal segregation, just based on like semantics a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because like when it gets, especially in the football stuff, because it's like, oh, you've got the Blues bar, the Greens bar. You cannot wear these colors in this neighborhood. And it's just like, really, are we doing this? You know, we all pay the tax money for the streets. Are we doing this?
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I never underestimate the ability for humans to human, you know?
The funny thing is, right, my dad would have sent me to a religious school if it just meant I got better grades.
A lot of people do. I think it was, what was it,
Yeah.
Omar, who was like, I wish we could make a non-Catholic Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. But then again, like, I go back to the same kind of thing with cultural Christianity. Like, if it isn't sustainable. And so you could try to create the Catholic, the non-Catholic Catholic school.
It's not just Christianity, it's kind of everything. It's like cultural culture as well, right? It's like you can't really agree on what America is if you don't have a shared root of what America actually is. And I think that's what America's lacking, you know. And Scotland, if you're dealing with older European countries, kind of obvious. You can kind of just point at the national, the thousands of years of history. America just doesn't have that.
No,
and
we
the
don't.
problem is,
In fact, when Julie and I were in Sweden, like on our anniversary, we stayed in a barn that was like 700-800 years old. Like, and I'm like, America's not even 250 years old. And I'm like,
yeah,
this barn was built, you know.
My local pub
for
was
American. At least 3 Americans.
Yeah.
Americas.
My local pub is from the
Sonia.
16th century.
Yeah.
It was a carriage station transformed into in the 16th century, transformed into a pub. And we were saying that the other day. It's not as old. America is not even as old as this.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to show you how. And that's not that long ago, to be honest.
It isn't.
Like, I think it was that the American Civil War is your great grandfather.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. It is not. That's the thing. It's like, you know, that's what what my hope is that I, like, as a parent, am able to teach my kids to go from, you know, thinking 5 minutes from now to 5 years from now to 5 generations from now. How do we think 5 generations? What can you be doing with your life that you will never see the fruits of?
Get into estate planning, because that's how a lot of families retain their wealth. Especially with housing and land, and especially here.
Well, I think a big part of that is, you know, teaching the kids also not to get into debt.
Oh yeah.
Because that in and of itself is like the biggest wealth robber.
The only debt I have is my student loans. And they can't, and the thing is, I'm not sure if it's the same in America, but if I don't work, they can't take them.
It is not the same.
It's not the same, no?
No. Like, it is the most indentured servitude BS type of program, to the point where when you start to, like, when you get behind the scenes and you start seeing that the majority of the money the government actually brings in is off of the student loans. So it is the sense that people are being indentured. And you're having these kids, they're adults, and they signed the paper, but they're going in for these BS degrees. If you, like, honestly, like, if you made it so it could, like, people could bankrupt their student loans, the banks then would literally have to actually do a test. I'm sorry, what are you studying? How are you going to plan to pay this back? Right?
Financial choices.
I don't want people not to be, like, if they want to go to school and, you know, they want to learn something, that's great. But I know a guy who had, you know, getting out of school, like, $200,000 in debt, and he's working at Starbucks, and he got a doctorate in you know, whether it was philosophy or no, it was in psychology. It was philosophy, and I was like, that's great. I want people to do that. But now here you are. What?
Yeah. Like, what have you done with that degree?
Philosophy, but it's like, you got to understand. And so I think they're pushing all that, and we've seen that. We've seen that a lot, and so. And the knock-on effect is you have people like Yamrin, who he's working to pay off his student loans, but that's keeping him from saving up money to buy a house, or like that is definitely something where you're just like, hey, I want to date somebody, and then they're all like, oh man, like, how much debt do we have? Like, are we going to be forever, you know, strapped to this? Because they had the pause during the pandemic, and that's pretty much the only pause that we've seen. So
didn't they wipe quite a bit off for you guys?
That's good politics PR, but you actually go look at the debt that's been forgiven, and it's actually not a lot of people. They're just saying, hey, we're gonna open it up, and so people have had their debts forgiven, but they were also these are people who've been paying on their student loans for over 30 years, so they've already more than triple or quadruply paid into the system to have it forgiven. It would have been cheaper for them to pay it off, obviously, in that regard.
Is it a guaranteed loan in the US?
It's a guarantee. I think it's guaranteed. Like, you
can't
bankrupt it though, and that's where it's like,
if it's guaranteed, it should not have high interest. Like, that should be, if you're going to give it out to almost anyone, you should be able to charge higher interest. Well, it's the banks, so it's just like, but still, it's like, if this is guaranteed and you're not doing any background checks, just for, you know, basic due diligence.
Most of it, like especially the federal, outside the private ones, the federal ones that's how they actually generate more money off the payments to student loans than on the actual tax code.
Well, it just feels like usury at the end. And you're just like, why?
Indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Because what it also does is that it allows, like, when people are in debt, they're gonna their jobs are gonna pay them less.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the minute you have leverage, the minute all of a sudden you're checked, like, oh, I got a bonus this year, or oh, I got this. It's like, of course you did, because they know you don't owe anybody any money, and especially, like, and I'm gonna say this, like, one thing that I really am, and I hope that it goes through. I think it might be in the courts, but Biden putting in Kamala Khan, I know that she got I believe that's her name, and I might be butchering it. I know she got a lot of hate for the Microsoft, kind of review. But her thing with the non-competes, like, that's huge. That is huge for workers. That is a really
I haven't heard this. What's happened?
So she through the trade commission, I believe, got rid of the ability to have these non-compete clauses.
Oh, that is huge.
And as somebody who has been under a non-compete before, I'm like, I'm never going to sign that again. But you won't get a job here. I don't want to work for you if I'm going to be under a non-compete.
I'm not sure if I can say
that. They have all the power, and they're like, well, they could take those secrets. You know how you stop somebody from leaving and taking your secrets to your competitor? You pay them. Pay them well. You know, that's the So
when I worked for Dell, right, they didn't have a non-compete.
Yeah.
They had it was something else they called it. It was like a what you call it? It wasn't a non-compete. It was like a non. It was weird. Like, it was like much broader.
Yeah.
But they could basically assert that as a non-compete. And I tried to have it removed from the contract, and they just flat out refused.
Yeah, they can.
And I was
but I'm like, that's where it's like, if that's all gone, then it's gonna be. It's just better.
But it wasn't
like,
just like
I will never sign one again. I mean, I guess if my kids are starving and I've been unemployed and now I need the money, it's like, well, okay, fine.
A lot of it isn't just a non-complete. It's like a almost everything. It's like, you can't disparage the company. If they need you in a court 50 years from now, they can drag you in. And it just, like, there's an entire list of basically you are indentured to do their bidding for the rest of your life, even though they're no longer paying you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why? There should be, because the non-compete I had was about 3 months.
Okay. Mine, I think, was a full year.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's up, MMO Bean? How are you, sir?
I wouldn't have signed it if it was a year, because at that point you're just losing money.
Yeah. Focus gain increased by 30%. How much do they want? They want 15 for that? Is it 15 for every exalting? Yeah, it looks like it's 15 for every exalting. Alright.
They were generous, though, with the actual redundancy package.
I haven't ever played any of the Fallout series. Like, that's one of the things, like, I really liked about Starfield. I enjoyed Starfield. Everybody's like, it's just Fallout in space. I'm like, wow, that's not bad. I'm not the biggest post-apocalyptic, like, theme guy. Like, I'm like, oh, all right.
I'd enjoy it if there was more in it.
Hey, what's up? Hey, BB, how you doing today?
Fallout, I got into Elder Scrolls via Skyrim, so I thought I'd try Fallout.
Yeah.
And I tried Fallout 4 first, because that was the one, but it was just like, it was kind of boring. Like, there wasn't much in it.
The new PC, Sonya, has not arrived yet.
Vegas, however, was better. Fallout Vegas was much better. That was a lot more.
I heard a lot. Like, was that Obsidian, right?
Yeah, it was Obsidian. Yeah, Vegas is peak. Right, Fallout 4 tried to play on my feelings. It was like, you have a dog, and I was like, okay.
Oh gosh, darn it! I'm in trouble, boys.
I haven't heard actually your machine beat yet though. That's interesting.
Well, that's good. That's I'm happy with my mic setup then, because it annoys me when the headphones are muffling it for me, but it's like when I'm here just during my normal day to day.
I can hear it slightly when you speak. I feel.
Like, because that's the mic, because it's like,
yeah,
no one's talking. Let me turn, not, be on the quieter end.
But I didn't notice if I wasn't listening for it. Is it just like a constant ring, or is it just like beep beep?
Beep, beep,
yeah.
Beep. Yeah, I went to check. I was hoping it would show up today, but it's okay that it didn't.
You just waking up every morning checking track.
That did not end well. Now I need to go make some money because now I need repairs because I'm being told. So, to the open world.
You work on that machine, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. I also have a work machine, so I have for all of my extra stuff that I get to do, and then I have the work machine that I do for my. And I keep it separate because it's like I don't want to use my work machine for.
What's up, man?
What's happening?
So are you using like a form of version control just to make sure your work's not using Git or?
Oh yeah, I use Git. I use Microsoft DevOps. I use a lot of Azure for like web services and database, stuff in the cloud.
What Azure development tools are you using?
The main ones I use are blob storage, Azure App Service, and SQL databasing. But I use containers where it's Linux based. So
have you heard about the Oracle Azure partnership?
I have not.
So Oracle's autonomous database is now going to be in Azure.
Oh, nice.
So it's self-managing, self-encrypting, and it'll pair it with machine learning.
Mm-hmm.
So it should make things much easier for people. Basically, does the job for you, which should be brilliant, to be honest. Nothing worse for a data analyst.
Sell all that. Need to sell some stuff.
I have to admit, though, I'm really glad I went with a pure faith build this time in Elden Ring because it's just much less of a hassle to get up and running.
I've heard that with magic and stuff like that. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are peak, says Casualties.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they're true though, they are peak. Like Fallout 3 I think is a really good starting off point for them, but I feel like they went back before. Okay. And I feel like 4 they tried to distinguish themselves with it from New Vegas as much as possible. And they tried to almost I feel like Bethesda, especially Todd Howard's little divisions trying to recreate Skyrim. If that makes sense. They tried to make what's it, the 20-year game where people can just sit there and mod it, and that's where the value comes from. Mm-hmm. And I think that backfired on them with Starfield. 1 and 2 as well, but they're doing. Yeah, I think the problem is with 1 and 2 is that they're really old, and the problem with really old games is that you kind of have to go backwards. From you can't go from oldest to newest. You have to kind of go backwards because the gameplay mechanics, you're losing quality of life as much as possible. So it's almost increasing in difficulty and increasing in inconvenience. Mm-hmm. But I think once you get there, it's much better. It's why I'd say start with Diablo 4 when you're doing action RPGs, isometric action RPGs. Then let's try Last Epoch. Then maybe try a PoE.
Yeah.
Because you're losing a lot of the functionality and it's increasing in complexity.
You're 36 in gaming. That's really old. Well, you could get older as a gamer.
You're 9 years older than me, man. I mean, is 36 old? I feel like it's not. I feel like 36 is sort
I
of like that
define old as like 1,000, so that way I'll never be old.
one.
It's like,
I don't know. The closer I get to 30, everyone tells me the fun times are ahead.
Yeah, that's what people keep saying to me.
I didn't
But
like
I
my
was
30s because I was dealing with all that like depression, anxiety stuff with because I was having that hormonal thing that we
Yeah.
could never figure out, and then so I was like, man, I tell you, 43 feels way better than 33.
Hell yeah.
the problem with my 30s is like I'm getting to my 30s and I don't have any of the stuff my parents had when they were 30.
Yeah, well, that's
like,
pretty
yeah.
normal. You know?
Yeah, I know. It really irks me though. Like, because I'm better educated, I've had better career prospects. Yeah, I don't have a house, even like a small one I can't afford.
Yeah.
My dad already had a kid at this point.
Yeah, when I was like my dad, when he married my mom, he ended up like basically inheriting his brother-in-law and two sister-in-laws because my
Yeah.
granddad Larry, he was a deadbeat and he abandoned his family, and and so like my dad ended up like got married like at 21 maybe, and then had me at 22, so I came a year later, but also had 3 other kids. Now the positive side that he looks back and says it's like, oh, he had at home babysitters, you know. So it's like, so for me, the youngest 2 aunts and the only son, my uncle Mike, like those are also kind of like they do feel like a little bit of my older siblings, and then yet I'm still like the oldest kid.
My parents got my aunt to babysit me and like pick me up from school and stuff like that, and they'd pay her for it. Just because Scottish families, probably I'd say, not so much these days, but like 20 years ago, were actually rather big.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking almost like 3+ kids. You know, my parents' generation was like 5+.
Phone call coming in 1 second.
How you doing, Diane?
We vibing. Just been really busy lately.
How's Destiny?
That's good. I'm having fun.
Have they released the new what you call it?
Sorry about that.
Episode?
I'm back. Can
The
you hear me?
what?
Hey,
Have they released the
Yeah, we hear
episode
you.
for Destiny?
Have they done what for what?
The episodes, I would say it's pretty good. It's just paced weirdly. I have a feeling that this episode was being created before they had dedicated to a longer release schedule.
It's about the Vex, right?
The I feel it's pretty
Yeah, it's with the
stable.
Vex.
Casualty asking how stable is the game. Like, I don't have any really problems with it. I know that there were some performance issues on Steam Deck, but it is now Steam Deck verified. So like, I would say like it's honestly what should be classified as a very polished early access game.
Yeah.
And so essentially the weaknesses of the early access is that this is a big update that just dropped this week, which is awesome. But there's, you know, like you could beat it. You could beat the game. You could put 30 hours in and set it down and, you know, etc. But like I think one of the things that a lot of us have done is put like obviously way more than that into it.
Good game, man.
Yeah, it's a good game. It is a good game.
It's amazing how many hours you can dump in without realizing it when you're just playing a really good game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird. I'm starting to feel like I'm like 15 again because I'm not paying attention. Suddenly it's 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Wait, decrease.
To be fair, that should be a metric. You know, how to tell a game's good is like how little sleep are you getting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Because like when I was playing BDO in university, you know, not sleeping at all. I think I did something like 3,000 hours in my first year of that game.
Mm-hmm.
See, my college game was Guild Wars 2, and that was only bad because it was literally early Guild Wars 2, where you're just doing
Early
the
Guild Wars 2.
Queensdale train for like 6 hours at a time, not getting anything because you already had max gear.
When did Guild Wars 2 come out again?
Oh god,
It was
2014.
2014?
Yeah, I want to say it might have even been the ass end of 12, but at least in 2013. Because I remember I had early access to both Star Wars: The Old Republic and Guild Wars 2, and I was frustrated at my lack of time because I was still finishing high school.
Yeah, I feel like I was in high school around that time as well. That's why I was like, because I had to like beg my mother for money to buy it. It's weird.
Time flies.
Oh, it does. Tomorrow I'll wake up, I'll be 30, and I'll be doing the exact same thing I'm doing today.
You have 150 hours in Dead Cells. I want to play
Oh, Dead
Hades.
Cells is good. Dead Cells is good. Didn't they have a Castlevania like spin-off bit for Dead Cells? Like I feel like B Rising
Focus
and Dead Cells
region.
did Castlevania thing. To be fair though, like the Castlevania aesthetic goes hard.
Yeah.
To be fair, a lot of the 80s franchises go hard.
We got any good rolls? Damage taken increase. Focus increased. Gain more experience, lose experience on death. Ugh.
Is it a fixed camera, even though it's isometric? Or
Yeah, I
can you
don't.
change the direction? Yeah.
No, you can't change the direction of the camera. Stamina loss and damage taken. Armor, all resistances, healing effects, and reflects 9% damage.
It's fantastic. Okay.
Apprentice coat. Damage taken. Let's see here. The health regeneration increases.
Yeah, I'm
Parry
going to be
dodge.
honest though, right? A lot of like the Metroidvania isometric games are, I feel like are of a lot higher quality these days,
Yeah.
and a lot of the newer stuff, like you know the sort of like the Sony movie game type over the shoulder camera angle stuff these days. I just feel like they're worth your they're worth your dollar if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was gifted V Rising. I played a little bit of it. It was fun. You need to...
Oh yeah.
That's the thing.
I would recommend just like removing the decay rate as if you want to do it over a longer period of time, as much as possible. Otherwise, it can start to feel a bit like a mobile game where it's like you have the real life aspect to it.
Yeah, I'll go do these bounties. I think that seems like the most prudent thing to do in the open world. Find a bounty to go do it, and then
do it for.
I would say though, on like B Rising's part, like I actually really like their power, like how they get, how they actually use the powers.
Yeah.
And like the different schools and how the different schools, like very similar abilities, but just like different flavors. Yeah, we do just need a new Castlevania game. The last one was Lord of Shadows. Lord of Shadows though was really good.
Was that the 3D one or a 2D one?
Yeah, that was the 3D one with Robert Carlyle playing Belmont, who then becomes Dracula, and then he's facing against Satan. But I think it was that time where Konami was trying to reinvigorate the franchise before turning it into a pachinko machine.
And only a pachinko machine.
A mountain of art.
Such a waste of an IP, man.
Well,
Sad part. Oh, thank God! But they got a hold of Deus Ex.
Right. Well, they got the Square stuff, but they're not doing so hot. So I wonder what will happen there. And then Square Enix is like, we want to, also get more franchises. It's like, gosh, like y'all, you decide one thing.
I feel if Square wants to have Western studios, they need to be completely separate from Japan. Like, because the Japanese work ethic, I don't think jives well with the Western approach, and I don't think Western devs can give them what they want, and I think they may micromanage them a bit too much.
Maybe.
Because it was a big thing from the Deus Ex devs, was like they just keep interfering with what we're trying to do, and they were also trying to do at the time, stuff for kids with like disabilities and things like that. Especially with like augmentation or like robotic limbs, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And like raise money for kids born with no arms and stuff, which was really good PR, I thought. Because I heard basically what was at Day 6 Mankind Divided, and was really well received. Like, it wasn't hated, but it still got the dreaded Square Enix line of did not meet sales expectations.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, what forecasts are you doing to the point where this isn't meeting sales expectations, even though it's making a profit?
Well, what that generally means is that you look at what a game costs to make. Let's say 200 million, right? Over 5 years. So if you're like, well, if we invested
the stock market.
In the stock market, that $200 million over 5 years, what would have been our return? And it would be, and that's how you figure out
It's such
the
a backwards
ROI
move.
on games. Because then
I'm just going to be honest.
Well, 1 second. Then you end up having like, oh, and they take the average of what the market does, and so their expectation is to beat the market.
Yeah, it's such a backwards way of thinking though, because the whole point is the money funds the games.
Thanks for hanging out, dude.
You know, the money
Appreciate
is the fuel which funds the games.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course you can get more money on the stock market, but that's not the point. The point is to produce a game and then put food on the table of your employees.
Right, but that's always going to be the struggle between art and commerce, man.
Oh, it's not even art. It's just that's the mission of your company. The mission of your company is to make a video game. You know, if you want to make money on the stock market, go become venture capitalists.
Yeah.
You know, go be Embracer.
Go be Embracer.
I do feel though it's like, because if you look at a company like Dell, right, it's like, what's their mission statement? And it's like, to better humanity with technology. And you can sit there for 5 seconds and go, well, that's a lie.
Make money.
You know? It's make money.
And that's
it's
the thing, like anybody who's like, oh, well, this is a company that has a mission. Yeah, to make money. And if you ever, like, as soon as you accept that, the people within it, you can do nice things, but it's all like, it's not what a company does to exist. And you can always prove that whenever times get tough. Because whenever like the money's on the line, we don't have the money, those programs are the first thing to go, you know?
And you think the SMEs would actually do, you know, back this up quite a bit, where it's like, no, you know, the small, medium enterprises, where they're like, no, we actually want to make the product, we actually want to make, but they don't, they're worse than the bigger companies, because they're trying to be the bigger companies.
Yeah,
the amount of small
companies,
the amount of small programming companies I've seen give people Google level entry exams is insane. And I'm like, you're not Google. You do not need a Google level entry exam for a programmer.
Hey,
you're not paying them for Google.
For efficiency.
How long is the playthrough? Let's see here.
It's so stupid though.
I think probably as the game exists right now, if you don't get into like the Crucible stuff, you'd probably be looking at a 20 to 30 hour experience.
That's still well worth the.
In my mind, yeah.
Price
that's like, and then if you then get into the Crucible stuff, which is like the roguelike, is just it keeps me hooked, dude. Then you're like, yep, one more run. So it does have a one more run mentality. So I've invested, I think I'm coming up on 100 hours, which, if you know, that might not sound like a lot for a lot of people, but for me that's a lot of hours because I don't get a lot of game time.
For the average dad who has 1 hour a week apparently to video game, you know, that's 100 weeks. That's that's almost 2 years.
Like, I do count my blessings because it's like, oh yeah, man. Like I get that, you know, I have a wife that's like, yeah, go play some video games. It's like that's great. But she also knows that if she needed me, then it's like, yeah, this is. See you guys. I'll see y'all later.
If I am ever lucky enough to be bestowed the privilege of a wife, I will be marking that in a flipping calendar. Do not disturb. Between this time and this time.
That's what we kind of tend to do is like schedule it. You know, so it's like okay, I'm gonna generally play some games. You know, this time a week. And if it doesn't,
otherwise I'm getting one of those. What are those things where you can put the baby on like the front of you?
One of the, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I will be wearing one of them while sitting at a PC.
There you go. I think what you'll find is that like the thing that I do more than anything is the handheld GeForce Now experience.
Yeah.
Like that gives me so much game time. That's where it's like PAX Day is supposedly coming to GeForce Now, because they announced it when they announced like, hey, early access starts this this
I,
spring
I
summer.
tried, like, how you can get like the joysticks for your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it and I couldn't stand it. Like, I don't know what it
These
is.
chuckles.
Should have got one of the good ones. Because I have my
Yeah,
backbone and it works like a great.
it's good. It's just it's like
Genshin Impact better on my phone than I do on my computer.
It-
Granted, I
it's
have a really old computer. When the new Division game comes out on mobile, I'm
yeah.
genuinely excited. 'Cause I do not see it going forward.
Can you send me a
All
link
the
for a good
reviews
one?
for the Assassin's Creed that came out on iOS, basically everyone who tried to play it without a controller said it was bad, and everyone who played it with a backbone or one of the other.
So what's it
bigger
called? Backbone?
controllers- Yeah, Backbone 1.
Backbone.
I have yet to. I have a few issues with it on my Samsung, but not
Yeah, that's much
That's
bigger
just
than the one I've
but-
got,
yeah,
and the button spread's much better already.
it
And
feels almost exactly like a Switch, to be honest. Just with a much better screen and hardware powering everything.
yeah, I just feel like sometimes it's like, especially with like the right stick, where it's like my thumb is a bit too big, almost for like the actual thing,
Yeah.
and it's just like really annoying.
I had like a $50 one off Amazon at first, and that's how.
Yeah, that's what I
it out. I was
tried.
like, this doesn't fit at all.
That's exactly what I
Finally
tried.
went in on a backbone, and it's genuinely the best handheld controlling setup I've ever used.
Because I just want something I can play GeForce now on, like in my bed, when I don't want to be,
That's where like
I do
the
Steam Play for
disappointment
Destiny
that I
2
have
from
in
that.
the Sony Portal.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh man, that looks great. Like, does it connect to GeForce Now? No.
No.
Okay, well then never mind. If it did,
Well, it's-
like I would
it's
play,
quite a
I
good
would
screen
have
size.
that, and I would sub to their, if it connected to their, cloud as well, then I'd be like, all right, this
Yeah.
is, maybe I get rid of my PlayStation.
What is
use
what's the
cloud.
Portal? What's the Portal screen size? Is that 11 inch?
I hear it's different. Like, I mean, I hear it's high quality, and so I don't know what the overall size is, but it's a beautiful screen.
I want to say it's like a 10 by 16, 8-inch screen, I think.
8 inch screen? 8 inch is not bad. Like 8 inch is quite big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's the Steam Decks? Do we know?
I don't know.
I want to say it's
Yeah.
6.5 or 7.5. Well, it's probably closer to 6.5 because that's like just under the size of the iPhone Pro Max.
Yeah, it's 7 inches. You're correct, and 7.4 for the OLED. If Sony's, if the Sony Portal is, bigger than the Steam Deck, that's really impressive. It should
I
just
think it's
connect.
being that it's also not running anything built to run, locally.
Yeah, and definitely, yeah.
It ends up being smaller, lighter,
It's just
more comfortable to hold over.
it's
long periods
such
of
a
time.
weird return to like the weird little Android handhelds we had in like 2010. Where it's
Yeah.
like, yes, this will do the thing, but has to be on Wi-Fi, has to
Yeah.
be connected to the computer that's still running and blowing its own power. And if you
It
want
reminds
consistent frame rate,
me-
you probably still need to be plugged in anyway.
Yeah, it's like something Nintendo would have come up with. And it's just like, I would have, honestly, I'd prefer PSP at that point. Just
I remember
because,
the first time I heard about the Switch, I genuinely thought that was an add-on for the Wii U.
yeah. The Wii was fantastic, though.
Wouldn't know.
Well, my mom still wants to use it.
The
And my mom's
problem
not
with
a
the
girl.
Wii U is how they named it, I think, because it was like, it caused so much confusion.
Oh, yeah.
What? Is this an add-on? What do you mean I need to buy another
Yeah. I think everybody was used to how, how the Wii was, the original. And they were expecting something very similar, like how Sony does, the PS1 to PS2 to PS3.
Yeah.
And then they come out with this weird handheld, and it just dive bombs because it's not what people wanted. But then they
it
used
turned,
that
like,
in
it's
Switch.
what they wanted, though. With the, like, people wanted was the Switch.
Yeah, because you can do both. I just wish the sticks were a bit, the Joy-Cons were a bit bigger
Yeah.
for that. Because I feel like when you had the Wii controller in your hand, it felt good
Yeah.
to have the Wii controller in your hand.
Well, like the Pro Controller feels good. Like the only downside is that Nintendo has their buttons different from everybody else now, basically. So it's like,
Can we just move on to button standardization? Like,
oh, man.
everything should just be market standardized.
Or like honestly, I would think that the thing I would like to see more than even if it was standard is just like let any controller that you have, like if I want to play my Xbox with a PlayStation controller,
Yeah.
Just get out of my way and let me.
Do you know what I would, do you know what I'd like to see as well is like PC games having the ability to switch to the symbols
Yeah.
to what your
They're
controller
starting
is.
to do that. Like with no rest, if I just plugged in the PlayStation 4, 5 controller, it does it.
Yeah, it's like
Same
hallelujah.
thing with New World. Like it's just like, yep, we're good. You know, like yeah,
It's
perfect.
because I grew up on PlayStation, so
Yeah.
it's like when I see RT, I'm like, what the hell is RT? And it's like, oh, it's right
R2.
trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gods abandon us when the pestilence.
But even then, it was like it took me a while to get used to like Y, A, B, and sometimes I still find myself confused because I actually like the DualShock shape more than I like the Xbox shape.
Yeah.
It just feels better in my hands for me, even though I don't like the button placement as much.
I like the offset sticks at the Xbox.
I like the offset sticks as well. I wish I had the DualShock shape with the offset sticks. That would be peak controller for me. I'm not sure why I like the offset sticks more. I think it's because I might be left-handed or something, and therefore it just feels better. I don't know why.
I always like the look and feel of the even sticks, but then like can't confirm I, for some reason, genuinely play better on the offset.
Yeah, I like the look of the even sticks as well, but I just prefer offset. Like, it's weird.
We got a good question in chat from Birder here. Says, "What is your favorite game growing up?" And I think
Sly Cooper.
for me, like I'm such a like Mario 2 was like my introduction to video games, right? But that's not my favorite game. But I have a huge love for Mario, but I also have a huge nostalgia for SNES, Square Enix, right? So you have like Chrono Trigger, and you have Final Fantasy 4 and 6, and so 2, aka 4, is where I fell in love with that. You also have Dragon Warrior, right? In fact, I got all those games still here. Let me go grab them.
For me, that would be between like the ages of like 5 and 10 when I was like, really a kid. It would either have been Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank series, 1 to 3.
This is the Dragon Warrior that I got with my Nintendo Power subscription, which got me into like RPGs, and this was one of the best Dragon Warriors. I think Dragon Warrior 3 is probably still the best, but Dragon Warrior 4 was also incredible. It was an interesting introduction to like different characters and stuff. Here's the original Final Fantasy, in that regards, and then.
Do you know the one thing I love that JRPGs do is like the awesome trailers.
NES, man, that was phenomenal. What's up, Ferris? How you doing, man? Keep me up to date on the things that you got going on, because like I know you've been DMing. Final Fantasy 2 right here, baby, on the SNES. I have a Final Fantasy 6 somewhere. Here's Legend of Zelda. And then,
nice.
and then I've got Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. So they recently brought that out, back out, and I want to get that and play it again. Honestly,
I played Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for all of not 2 minutes, I say 20 minutes before the "Hey, listen" drove me to insanity, and I had to turn it off.
For me,
That
it
was
Sly Cooper.
yeah, like Sly was a good game.
Sucker Punch used to put
Final
out some
Fantasy
straight
2 on the
bangers,
SNES. So, I think as we also then separate kind of growing up in youth, right? Because like I feel like I've lived a lot of different lives, and that's one of the things where I've started it, and I just haven't finished it. I started playing Final Fantasy 4 again through the Pixel remasters to see how I feel different. Like, how does it feel now that I have kids, that I have, life experience, that I have all these things? How does this story resonate, or what? How do I feel about it as an adult? And honestly, like, it already hit me right out the gate. There was a lot of just simple lines of dialogue that meant way more to me as a parent. But I think essentially, if we kind of divide adolescence, so if we talk about it pre my parents losing everything and post my parents losing everything, I think pre was Final Fantasy 6, aka 3. That was such a big game. I was so excited about it. Like Final Fantasy 2, and like as a kid, you're like, we really didn't know like how all it worked. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna call up to the store And finally, you know, every day to find out that they had it, you know. So I remember I was annoying the Walmart clerk every day, like, "Hey, you guys got Final Fantasy 3 yet?" And then playing that with my friend BJ for hours and just like absolutely just like having that experience. That's why, like, even with single player RPGs, they were always multiplayer for me. It was always a shared experience.
Yeah, I remember going around to my friend's house to like even play games like Frogger and things like that. Like growing up in like late '90s, was fantastic.
I think post losing everything would be Final Fantasy Tactics. Like Final
Isn't
Fantasy
Tactics one of the older ones? Like,
yeah, it was PlayStation.
Is it PlayStation?
But that was right when, you know, right after we my parents, you know, lost everything. My dad basically lived on the couch for a year because like, and it's like I'm not angry at him at all. Like I can't imagine the amount of just anxiety and stress that you feel like when your whole world collapses, you know, in front of you.
Yeah.
And so, but like as a kid, it's like, yeah, we had Final Fantasy Tactics. That was also around the time Final Fantasy 7, so after Final Fantasy 7 came out.
I'm genuinely wonder if kids go round to each other's houses at this point to play video games, or if that's just like a relic of the
I
past.
hope they do.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that it's always like. I mean, at least my kids, like, they talk with their friends about, you know, video games. You know, right now it's all like Roblox and, you know.
Yeah, but do they like go over to their house? Like, cause I remember like having the memory card in my hand. You know, as I went over to my friend's house to slot
we
it
don't
into a
have the
PS2.
memory card thing anymore. You know, so it's, you know, it for me it like all just follows me in the cloud. So if like I was gonna go over to our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's like, remember the slot in the actual box that you could put the memory card in? They used to have above the disc. To be fair though, you can probably tell how old someone is by the favorite games they had growing up.
So many really good games. I mean, obviously, like being a kid, like Secret of Mana, that was such a great
I've never
game.
played it.
Oh,
I need to
dude.
play it. There's a
Oh,
pixel remaster coming out, isn't there?
Gosh, if they do a pixel remaster on Secret of Mana, dude, or just like they do anything with that series, that'd be wonderful. They're doing the Visions of Mana or whatever, so it's a new Mana.
It's a Visions of Mana.
Yeah.
Like, I need to try the original Final Fantasy because my first one was 12, and it's weird because it just shows you how long it takes for them to make them. Because 12 we're only on what, 16? There's only 4 entries ago. You know, if this was any other studio, they would have made that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's even like Halo. I was too young for Halo. Like, I feel like if you're over 30, like, the games you were playing were like Halo, Gears of War.
Gears
you know,
of War
like,
was awesome. I really like the Gears of War series. I'm looking forward to Gears of War E-Day. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, isn't that a prequel?
Yeah. So they've done like Gears of War Judgment or something like that in the past. I played that just a little bit. I was like, all right. Like same thing. It was the same thing with I never played Halo Reach. I was like, Halo was, it's not a numbered Halo. Like,
no, but it is better than, in my opinion, story. Like, just the campaign is fantastic.
Yeah, I need to remedy that.
Do you know, I
hope ODST that all my friends really enjoyed.
I love the idea of ODST.
Oh no.
I like the idea of it, but I didn't feel like the gameplay fit.
Yeah.
Granted, it was also Bungie just prototyping things for Destiny in the background.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever.
What's interesting about the E-Day, you know, obviously, like the trailer, because Casualty says that, like, it just made him cry. It's like, yeah, a couple things are interesting about it, right? First and foremost, it kind of gets back to a little bit more of the kind of light horror roots, because you're now dealing with a story and characters that do not know what the locusts are. Like, they were like, this is the world, and then all of a sudden we're being attacked by this kind of monster, you know, and so it's like, okay, interesting. And
I am seriously
also
thinking of
wonder what the hell were they like? Obviously, a different team, different direction, different story, but the ending for Gears 5, the player chooses one, you know, like what character survives, basically.
Do you guys think we're
and
going
then I'm
back?
like, what do they do? Like, do they not know what story to follow that up? I do hope we get to see the JD story, you know, some more in that regards.
Brian, you grew up in the 80s, right?
You would call me a '90s kid, but yes, I was born
90s
in the
kid,
'80s.
yeah. Do you think we're going back? Yeah. Do you think we're going back to sort of? Because I feel like when I see Aliens Romulus is coming out, it's much more of a horror than from what I saw in the trailers. Beetlejuice is coming back out. Gears of War is, and what I would say is very 80s inspired. You know, it's like same with Master Chief. You know, guys don't talk; they're very stoic. You know, guns blazing, and it's just like I feel like we're heading back to that sort of characterization of men, and I'm kind of glad about it.
Well, I think there's a hunger for it. You know, like
Yeah.
I really hope that, and I don't think I'm not betting on it, but I really hope that with Wolverine, you know, I've heard from the Wolverine. You know, it's just like, yeah, let's make a good movie. Let's make a movie that people want to see. You know, and turns out people will still go see your movie. You know,
the Wolverine and Deadpool movie is good. It's generally it's a movie I enjoyed quite a bit.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking.
It made me very nostalgic for like 2001.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because, like, obviously we look at that, like the Paris thing, and historically, I think the world has forgotten what the world was like pre-Christianity, and there's a hunger to kind of return to that life, that world, and I think it will be interesting to see how society responds.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Even if it's like I don't mind the pagan stuff, but it's because I'm from pagan culture. But it's just the stuff they come out with today is bloody boring. It's not even good.
And that's the problem. Art, man. I think that's the thing about art. It's like, you know, it's art is something that transcends like us as a generation. And if you're not making good art, then then I think you're still be forgotten.
I'll take something from like my people. Like, we're talking earlier, Stonehenge, right? Looks simple, but it's an observatory. You can literally calculate the circumference from the Earth using it.
Yeah.
It's subtly beautiful in that regard.
How interesting humanity is, right? That's the thing about like with America. Like, the thing is like people should need to remember that like Americans are the descendants of crazy people, like who ventured across like into the unknown and survived. And so it's like there's in I think every American's DNA is that kind of spirit. And
dude, you're so crazy.
And when we're attacked, like when we're unified, there is no force greater on this planet than a united America, and that's why people want to destroy it. You know.
I genuinely felt I'm not American, right? But I kind of felt happy when I saw Top Gun. It made me feel good, if that makes sense. And I'm not even American. It just made me feel good. It's because you guys are charismatic compared to us on the UK. Like we are dour. Like we're a bunch of depressed people. Like you guys seem to be, you know, that, and I'm not sure if it's because you've got the sun or not.
You do get a lot of sun, and I think that probably does help a lot. Hey, well, happy birthday, Xbot Life, to your daughter. That's great. I've seen a couple other people that they are like my son, or you know, their birthdays today as well. So, shout out to all our Leos out there.
You know, it's just like I think you guys are just much happier. Like you're much more personable than we are.
Well, I guess that also depends on where you go, because it's like I've heard like
UK.
You know, well, UK or like even New York. Cameron will talk about like that, and so people are like, oh yeah, because here in the South they'll hold open doors.
Yeah.
We'll say bless your heart, and then we'll hold the door open for you.
I think America has, and it's the thing in the UK is really lacking, is that in America you have hope. I don't see that really in the UK anymore. Like, there's really just no hope. There's no like vision, you know. Like,
a certain amount of that hope is kind of just like a selfish pride, like,
yeah.
and it's often uneducated. Like in Idaho, a lot of the people here take for granted just how like we're basically a southern take on the Pacific Northwest.
Mm.
Like Oregon and Washington and Montana and Wyoming are nothing like we are at all.
I'm gonna be honest,
Except
right?
for the
Even
fact that a
then,
small town is a small town, and small town people do
yeah.
what small town people do. Like that's about it.
But even then, right? I'd rather be ignorant and blessed than know everything and depressed.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But I mean, like that's the other thing about it. Like people from like, but it's a type of energy you get from that as well. Because
Yeah.
just like again here in my portion of the country, like Oregon and Washington are not very much alike, but they end up on a lot of the same headlines because of how major cities go.
Yeah.
Plus being in those environments, it's kind of like a triple whammy.
I think there's like like there's still natural truths about us as human beings, right? So you have the fact that we're social creatures. So like there's there's the natural forming of society through like that social nature and fabric. We also need space, like when you look at the cities and stuff like that, like when you start stacking people on top of people, essentially like, yeah. And same thing with online. We've seen a lot of communication breakdown. Like when we're in the real world together, our communication changes.
You know what the weird thing is, right? I've seen cities done really well, and I've seen cities done really poorly. And the cities that I've noticed have done really well, they have a lot of green spaces.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of place for pets. They have a lot of things to do, just like socially, like movies, even like computer cafes, that type of stuff. They have a really good infrastructure, and then it's like and you see it like if you go to London, right, and you go to the West End of London, or even like the West End of Glasgow compared to like the East End of Glasgow, it's like night and day. But in the West End of Glasgow, you probably could leave your door open. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not even bothering. Like that's like triple lock. Get a guard dog. You're not coming on my property. Get the hell off.
Get the hell off my property.
It's like I wouldn't be. Somebody left their bike chained. Well, the chain's either going to be cut or the wheels are going to come off. I think it's just a question of money,
That is something
how much
that I've
money
heard
everybody
like
has.
Jordan Peterson talk about. Like, if you want to protect the environment,
Yeah.
generate wealth so that people can prosper, and then then they'll care about the environment. But you're not going to sit here and get somebody who's like, it's either my family freezes to death, or whatever. No. We're going to be burning every thing on the planet.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, like especially because when you factor in like, okay, like yeah, I think everybody should try and do it.
If you want people to be if you want people to be tolerant, you need money. Like if the people are like, if they feel like the food's being taken out of their mouth, good luck, especially from their kids' mouths. Good luck.
But also tolerance isn't a virtue. It's a good thing to practice, but you cannot tolerate the intolerant either.
I think that's different. I think there's tolerance, then there's weakness. And tolerance has a limit. Weakness does not. Mm-hmm. And the minute...
I like that.
Yeah. It's like a tolerance to a poison. There's only so much you can take before you get poisoned.
I feel like the problem is when tolerance, like people try to have a lack of boundaries and then frame it as intolerance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like people will try to just go with the flow, and I'm very
most people, and that's what there was. Somebody who was like, they posted something, and I forgot what it was about. Like it was something where it's like, oh, it's the whole like Chris Tyson situation, and all the.
Wow, what's happening with Chris Tyson?
Oh, dude, it's bad. If only half of it's true, like it's just another horror story.
Is that another, like, in the strange line of Dr. Disrespect cases that is seemingly popping up?
Right, but he has the ability to have a shield of the LGBT, aspect.
Didn't Destiny... Oh, wait, is that the Mr. Beast guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't Destiny get stuff as well with that? Like, he ended up saying something in, like, Mr. Medica or something?
I try to avoid any time Destiny opens his mouth because it's just a bunch of bullshit that flows out, and it's like, that dude has A, serious problems, but B, like he's just like he's such a well-intentioned and informed idiot that it's just like, all right, man, you do you, buddy. But
It's weird, right? Because I've never actually watched a lot of his stuff, but I don't kind of want to, if that makes sense. Like, it's just like there's
I've listened to his
personalities I don't
debates,
mix well
right?
with.
So it's like Destiny debate so and so, and it's like, okay, it's like, yeah, it's interesting.
Civilian philosophical drama. That is actually true. It's like armchair philosophers.
D
Like,
knocking it out of the park for
yeah.
sure.
What was it? Do you guys remember the internet blood sport stuff a few years back? Like
No.
2016 to 2018, and you had like a lot of the characters we have today, like Sargon of Akkad, Andy Warski, that type of stuff, and they all would go into these stupid internet debates, and then it ended up in absolute nonsense. And after that stuff,
Yeah,
I
that's
heard,
part of why I don't follow sports.
no, but no, it was just politics like stuff. And I ended up burnt. They tried to turn like politics debates into gladiatorial sport. They called it blood sports. And I burned out of it so hard, and I never watched politics again online because it all just became really drama filled, like stuff that just tired you out,
But
Like,
the person was like, because obviously when the dam breaks, you all of a sudden start
Yeah.
getting all these stories, and somebody,
oh yeah,
like comments, it's like, why is this always the way it is? Like, why were people not sharing all these horror stories about this dude? And my thought is like, it's all just about incentive structure, right? There, like you can see it across time and industry where you don't want to, like, the person who ends up blowing the whistle on the party, like, is the pariah, is the villain,
know what the
and so
funny thing is,
everybody's kind of
right?
like incentivized to shut up and just go with the flow. And generally people, like, for the most part, that's the thing. I like when I see a lot of people make arguments that, like, especially like from a Christian perspective, that we want to do this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, we're perfectly cool with leaving people like alone, Like, I think
Do you know the
that's
annoying
I
thing?
think when
That's a total
historically we
individual
haven't. There's been some historical leaders and things like that it's like, oh yeah, we should
Oh,
do
yeah.
all these things, and it's like, no, that doesn't work. What works is like,
Lead by example. Live a
in
good
truth,
life.
yeah, lead by example. Like, while all y'all are over here being miserable,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not miserable. Why
The
aren't you
weird thing is,
miserable,
right?
Brian? There's so much stuff to be miserable about. I don't
The
know.
more this
Christ
drama,
is
the
king.
more the more this drama stuff comes out, right? The more I feel like I'm turning into my father.
You
Where
are.
it's like, yeah, where I,
the crazy news, especially as you get older, you
Yeah,
are turning
it's-
into your parents.
and I just feel like, okay, I'm not for an internet passport, like digital ID, but now I'm for an internet digital ID the more I hear this crap.
Yeah.
And it's just like, kids should not be allowed to make accounts online. They should not, everything should be like a YouTube Kids app, and that should be heavily, moderated.
Oh.
And, and I'm just like, and
I think people are waking up that there's
anonymity.
just been too much trust in these
Yeah.
conglomerates, and that it's like, oh yeah, wait a minute, what am I giving up?
Well, it's also the weird lack of guidance. Like, not everyone was as lucky of me of, like, introverted things keeping me
Yeah.
from making extra stupid decisions when I was young, because I was an only child, but also you don't, you need someone like Brian's age or about in order to be like,
Yeah.
this is what the internet version of looking both ways before you cross the street is.
Yeah.
I remember a story from when I was younger of when I was just like searching stuff up online, and I was really young at the time, but they still had a lot of the ads right at the side of the screens and stuff. And you know how the internet is, a lot of it's really inappropriate a lot of the time, junk crap, and my
Yeah.
parents were bloody shocked. But I was so young I didn't even notice it. You phase that stuff out when you're really young. But they were disgusted. Now it's just like everybody I use ad blocks and Brave and stuff, so I don't even see this stuff, but I don't know what the internet's like if you are having an unfiltered experience.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like if you think you're an adult now, you don't really know the internet, you put your kid on a browser. Are they going to just be inundated with a bunch of 18 plus crap that they should not be exposed to, especially on stuff like news sites and stuff?
think that's where one of the things that our general rule is, like, we're keeping the kids off the internet, off the socials. When their brains are fully formed, we will introduce them to this freaking chaos.
So 25 years old.
Yeah. Well, ideally 25, but at 18, legally they're an adult. And it's like, man, there's so many things that it's like I would be like, okay, like let your brain get to 25 and then do whatever the hell you want. It's your life, your money, your body. I don't care.
I'm so glad I didn't know what Reddit was till I was 19.
Dude, Reddit in and of itself is like especially when it comes to MMOs, as an MMO fan, it's like it's very funny. It is a very funny show over on Reddit because it's like constant salt, man. It's like, and that's the game. That's I'm like, man. Somebody commented on one of my videos on the Engineer MMO channel, and they're like, because I said one of the things I think would be interesting to see in modern MMOs if they integrated with Discord. And one of the things about that is the idea is with the social aspect, if I was, let's say, playing PAX Day right now and I was like, oh, I'm chatting in game with the guild, if that then was also, that whole log could be in Discord and somebody who's maybe not in the game, they're at work, they could pop in and see what people are talking about and respond and, oh, I'll be, etc. And they interpreted, I guess they interpreted what I was saying as like, oh, just go use Discord. And they're like, that's the problem. It's like, I was like, yeah, that is the problem. The problem is people are just going to go use Discord and they're not going to talk in game. And how do you fix that? I was like, I think you have to say, all right, well, like this is the tool that people use. Let's meet the people where they are, and then let's build that into our game.
It's because even back then, right? We're talking, what was it, 2005, 2006? Everybody used TeamSpeak. Was it TeamSpeak and Skype?
And, Ventrilo and then Skype.
I've never heard anybody use
Adobe had a program called Axon, which is what my friends and I used most of high school for.
Did they charge you your limits for that as well?
No, it was awesome because it was free and you could move people's positions, so we could have like our shot caller who played support in like front of everybody, but also the top laner didn't have to listen to the AD carry from bot lane screaming at each other. It was all still at a very well-leveled volume where if we were making map-wide callouts, you would hear someone, but at the same time, you didn't have to have someone irrelevant to your position screaming at you in the beginning of the game while you're trying to focus. It was really smart.
I don't think I've ever known...
It was very Discord.
Yeah. I don't think I've known anyone to ever use an in-game chat. Like, the first thing I do is turn it off.
Well, that's the thing. Like, in-game chat used to be kind of one of the also big selling points of the MMORPG because there was a lot of downtime, so people ended up, it's a big chat room, and then
even people in World of Warcraft have no idea it's even there, but even WoW uses the exact same chat system that Blizzard created for Overwatch and Battle.net, and the quality is actually surprisingly good, but no one knows it's there. So like I've had like 3 Mythic Plus runs in the last 6 years since it came out where like all of a sudden you find one little group where everyone's willing to talk and just laugh together, and it's magical.
Yeah.
Like, and it's good and it's high quality and it's just there, and I don't need to tell you what weird number comes out of the Discord name, but I
right, exactly. That's where it's like it just let me just, because I'm generally like, if I'm playing, I'm hanging out in Discord with you guys like this, it would be very convenient to be like, oh, okay, I've teamed up with this guy in the game, like, hey, if you want, jump in, and it's just handled.
The only time I've ever made friends in World of Warcraft is when I'm stopping veterans from bullying new players who are learning how to tank.
Oh man, I've had some really good guilds through the years, and when I was doing heroic raiding, or right before, the guild that I left to go start doing heroic raiding was probably one of the best groups of people I've ever gamed with. They were a little odd at times, but also I was 20 and they were all 40. So like, I just kind of was the weird guy, and I didn't realize
it was 6:30.
But
all right, I think I'm gonna wrap up, guys, and I'm gonna go get a little snack. I'm going to dinner tonight with my dudes. I wish I could take you guys here and voice chat with me as well. That would be the dream. Maybe one day we'll all be in the same physical reality together.
If I'm in Texas, I will melt into a puddle.
Nah, you'll be fine. We have things called air conditioning here.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, honestly, it's like I wouldn't go to Boston in February. I wouldn't like try to visit Texas in July or August, but Texas in October, dude, is amazing. Like it is my favorite month out of the year. October, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in and hanging out. And whether you watched this live or if you watched all the way to the end of it as a VOD, wow, thank you. I really, really appreciate you. Hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully, guys, I will see you soon. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. And thank you so much for the support, Mr. Jack Anderson over there over on Twitch, and Chris for becoming a member, and Cyril for the 20 bomb as well, 20 spot of super chats. Guys, thank you so much for your time today. Hopefully I'll see you next time.